Okay, here we are. So excited to be here. We're calling this the Tierra Terra Tara Taya Tuesdays because I just wanted to get together and talk about the Earth Grids with one of my favorite Reiki masters, Miss Tanya Corona over in San Francisco. Do you
Hello.
want to introduce yourself and say anything about you?
I'm Tanya Corona. I'm a Reiki master, crystal therapist, sound therapist, and I specialize in energetic clearing and alignment. I'm a human energy field mechanic, and also I look at earth grids and energy binding, and I help to unravel that energy binding. And of course, we all work together, so we always have support on this side and the other side. But Melanie
Yes.
is one of my favorite supports when it comes to Earth Grid work. So thank you for including me today,
Yeah,
Melanie.
absolutely. And I just am so grateful for our friendship. It's been over a decade, I'm sure, that we've been supporting each other and not only doing trades and helping each other clear, but actually helping look at the grids together and helping decode some of the stuff that we're working on personally on the planet. And I can agree with you and say I'm also a Reiki master. Lots of things, but really the focus of my work has been working with unbinding and clearing on the land for the last few years. And so that's taken me all around the world. And I'm sitting here in Darwin, Australia. Tanya is in San Francisco, California. And we are just, in this new year wanting to, I just feel like such a huge opening has happened since the new year came in, right? 2022, there's a lot of positive, newness and I think that people feeling that surge of inspiration again. It's just that time of year everyone wants to start fresh and start anew. But this time I feel like everyone's like, okay, really pulling it up and really like gathering energies to start something new. And this is something new, right? We're gonna just actually talk about this stuff. And we've been working in the background for so long, kind of doing our work really privately or with each other in community, kind of quietly. And I think that we can both agree that now there's been something that's been released where it's like, oh no, you can talk about this freely and you can talk about this openly and share this work and inspire other people if they feel this calling to kind of join and participate. Yeah.
Well, and that's where, the truth will out, right? The truth of the darkness and the light, right? It has to come to the surface so it can be resolved. And so we don't have to do this grid work, sneaking around in secret anymore, afraid of who's going to see us and who's going to, do whatever, but so it's a really an exciting time, I think, to be bringing these offerings forward.
Yeah. Us- I was talking to a group of fellow yogis and light workers the other day, and I was talking about this like we're you can just feel how many people are just waking up, and it's almost like they're water droplets now on the window, and like how the waters are just like the water droplets are going and finding each other and getting bigger. They're becoming blobs and big groups of water droplets, and how I feel like that's almost like what's happening on the planet. Like we're having this
Mm.
mass like water connection, almost like it's encasing the earth right now. And rather than it being water, it's being positive energy and love and sharing and wanting to really be heart open and heart coherent.
And awake and aware,
Like
right?
aware.
Aware of everything that's going on in our own individual energy fields, and how does that relate to what's going on in Earth's energy field, right? Because we are Earth and Earth is us, right? That macrocosm is always the microcosm as well.
Yes. Yes. And that kind of brings you to the theme of this Tuesday, is really talking about how do we you know, take all that in, what we're waking up to and what was bubbling up in us, and at the same time, stay grounded and keep grounding into the newness and the bubbling and the awakening that the earth is having. So, um, I think in my and in your experience, we've talked about this. It's not easy always,
Mhm.
it's very challenging, even just for me, I'll just speak to the energies that came in this last wave over the last 3 days. It's been full on huge expansion, almost to the point of like, you know, just flying really through the day. And then boom, landing on the ground and being like, okay, here's the shadow stuff that's coming up from that surge of energy.
Mhm.
What is that? And how do I even reconcile it? How do I weave it? How do I integrate it into my being, my beingness? And to get, even really specific, like stuff around abandonment came up for me. And there's not even really any trigger for it in my world. Or if it is a trigger, it's like so slight. So if I look at it with my like clear, rational eyes, it's like, you're not being abandoned, nothing's abandoning you, or you're not stuck, nothing's sticking you
Mhm.
anywhere. But yeah, I feel it inside my body, and I know it's old stuff that just needs to be soothed or kind of nurtured in a
Yeah.
way. Stay open to it. It's not pleasant. I feel like almost it feels like hangover-ish, or like
Mm. Mhm.
kind of like, or I have like intense cravings, like I want to soothe from old patterns of like, eating something savory or sweet or caffeine or something like that. So that's some of the ways that I've been experiencing, having to like how I'm grounding these new energies.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's been really challenging for so many people to really pay attention to what does come up, right? Because we're in this continual instant gratification culture, right? Where it's like, oh wait, emotions, I'm gonna just either shove those down or, eat something or drink something to say, oh, I don't have to pay attention to those. La la la, you're not really there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, right, how do we really mindfully allow those things to come up to the surface, right? And I think my cycle is a little bit different in that, I feel like the energy of these last few days has been much more calm for me, right? And now all of a sudden today, I'm feeling some things come up around some abandonment, around some
Mm,
unworthiness.
mm,
But it's a continual ebb and flow of energy, right? And it's a daily practice of mindfulness to
mhm,
look at the body and what's coming up and look at the emotions and how do we release what we need to release that's not ours and
mhm,
process what we need to process individually, right? So what
mhm.
kind of tools are we using for that?
Yeah, I wonder, like, what are the tools that you are using for that mindfulness practice?
So for me, I do a daily grounding practice where I really connect into my heart chakra, that tiny little diamond core God cell within the heart, and open that up to all the parts of myself, right? And really bring sun energy down to ground, the galactic center energy down to ground. One personal way that I'm really working with that energy is aligning with the toroidal field of the galactic center, aligning with the toroidal field of the sun, and aligning with the toroidal field of Earth, and working with my own Taurus, my own energetic blueprint, and aligning those celestial bodies together with mine so I can feel the ebb and flow of the rhythm of the galaxy and the solar system and how it's ebbing and flowing within my body as well. So, again, sitting outside on the ground has been a really great practice, right? And just feeling that magnetic energy of earth in my perineum, right? Almost like that click, right? Feeling that energy come up into the earth star chakra a foot below my feet, right? And run through my entire blueprint, my entire bubble, my entire field. So when I am able to feel those vibrations of earth and the vibrations of the sun, right, I can say, all right, well, I'm one with this. And then the little discordant emotions that come up, and they can be triggered, like you were saying, by any little tiny thing. Can be triggered by someone looking at you in a certain way that your mother looked at you that same way one time when she was yelling at you, right? And you go, oh my gosh, right? All of a sudden you're a little kid again in that space. I think not judging yourself when that does come up is
Yeah.
so important, right? If you can be kind and gentle and loving to yourself, not not saying, oh, I should feel some other way, or I'm
Mhm.
ashamed of myself for feeling those feelings. Just feel the feelings,
Yeah.
right? Just feel the feelings and let them come up to the surface, breathe into them, feel where they're holding in your body, and then let them go down to
Mm.
Mother Earth. You can say thank you, and then give it to Earth as compost.
Yes.
Give it to Earth as a resonance so other people can understand how to learn from that. Because when we anchor that into the grid, into the Akashic records, which is the psychic record of Earth, then other people can receive that information
Mm.
and learn from it and
Yeah.
process it.
I've been having a nice time just taking a walk, like it doesn't even have to necessarily be in nature, but just taking a walk without the device, without any sound, and really allowing, the eyes to do their natural scanning that they do when we're walking out, and seeing texture and seeing color, and yeah, again, just like feeling the feelings as they're coming through in that central channel, and using every step to just place it down, or even just with your hands doing the gesture of brushing it away. Sometimes it wants to come out this way, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
a just like almost like you're spitting something out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been noticing that. And with my partner as well, like when something comes up for him and he acknowledges it, he just wants to spit it out, so he'll
Mm-hmm.
just and just imagine it just going off into the wind and being carried away. That's been a good tool. I've really found like a lot. I've been trying to find these tools, and I love what you're sharing about like connecting to these cosmos. And I feel that with you. I've been noticing that just this practice of discernment that I've been in for all this time doing this work. Is this mine? Is this somebody else's? Is this the planetary thing? Is this the collective? I'm really finding that as we go deeper into this, into these frequencies, and as these light energies are coming up, that doesn't matter as much anymore if it's personal, if it's relational, or if it's the collective or global, because things are getting really blurry, or the lines of discernment are getting yeah, getting more merged. So I'm finding that that tool isn't really, useful as much as it was in the past. And it's more like just do the simple things, like get up and sit for 5 minutes right straight out of bed, like just do that meditation practice. That even if your mind's going crazy, or you're thinking about your dreams or what you have to do for the day, just actually breathing into that central channel for 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you choose or whatever you can tolerate. Oh, it makes such a difference. Making my bed, like if I don't make my bed in the morning, I notice like
Mm-hmm.
my day is a little more chaotic and it doesn't feel right. My friend Natalie just actually reminded me about just, we when we shower, we're always like making contact with every surface of our
Mm-hmm.
body and our skin layer. But she reminded me of really getting into the armpits and getting into those lymph nodes where,
Mm-hmm.
all the emotional content can get kind of clogged up. So just like doing a little armpit massage in the shower, and doing the real brushing of your body, to flush out the lymphatic system just helps clear that energy out. So grounding seems more accessible.
I have a little mini trampoline that I
Yeah,
jump on. And when you jump, whether you're jumping rope or whether it's a trampoline or whether you're jogging, the act of your body hitting the ground like that opens the lymph glands. And they work like little
yes,
cups, and then it circulates the lymph fluid. So that lymph fluid circulation, yes, 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 a very important thing for the body, for
that's
the
right.
energy field.
Yeah, in your venous system, they have a pump, right? Like you have little like encouragement at the end of your toes and your fingertips for the blood to come back up, but the lymph doesn't have that function. So the jumping just helps that pump, right? Yeah, jumpstart the pump. Man, other things are just like noticing what foods you're eating. There are foods that are more grounding. Like yesterday, because I was feeling this kind of super expanded state, and I was feeling just this elation and this kind of euphoria, and I felt ungrounded. I was like, we need root vegetables, and so we made roasted butternut squash and beetroot, and like
Mhm.
get some good like grounding earth vegetables in there, whatever you do to actually feel that. Made some, kind of made like a Mexican style bean, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
part of a side dish. So,
Great.
yeah, using spices, using foods to help ground.
Mhm. Mhm. And with
Mhm.
the root chakra, like the beet, that's a really great deep red, right? Which really resonates with that, with the root chakra.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The red spices, chili,
Mhm.
some chili powder, red pepper. Yeah. Love
Yes.
getting those red foods
Mm.
on a regular basis.
So awesome to touch base on practical. And I just want to go back to like the galactic and the grid work that we were touching on, and just asking about, your observation of where we're at right now with this unfoldment in the crystalline grid. I mean, just to give you a background of my perception, I think we share this, Tanya, is that the geometry of the actual core crystal of the center of the star of the planet is shifting and expanding in her geometry, right? So there, at least that's my perception, is this
Mhm.
going
Mhm.
from this star tetrahedron to this dodecahedron geometry. That's like the primal frequency. Of course, we can perceive that geometry, or that as many different types of geometry, but I'm talking about that like that collective vibratory field where
Mhm.
the whole planet shares that. I think we're all kind of ascending into this dodecahedron geometry that we can all really kind of base our body off of.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I've been noticing, it feels like she's kind of like almost like hatching into this
Mm.
geometry, or so it feels like, as she's, strengthening some of these energetic binds into that geometry. Do you
Mhm. Mhm.
kind of feel that or sense that, or do you have a different
I
perception?
don't see it exactly like you do. I mean, I see as you're talking about it, I can see what you're saying, and I can see that birthing process, right? It's like almost going from one little egg to the whole like next step. What is the next step? To me, it feels just more like Earth is moving into a new operating system.
Mm,
Right. So a lot of people are still living on the old operating system.
yes.
What I see in people's bodies is that a lot of people are straddling the operating system with the chakra system. Like the lower three chakras will be in the old operating system, and then the upper chakras will be in the new operating system. And
Mm,
so, we're all making the transition, just like Earth. And that's why we're here, right? As each one of us connects energetically to this new, I don't know, operating system or way of being that Earth is moving into, then we help Earth really start to fully fledge that out.
mm,
Yeah. So it works, it's going to happen with Earth, right? She has a contract that this is her trajectory. This is her progress into higher density, right? And that dodecahedron is able to hold that higher density information, more facets
Yeah.
of magic, more facets of light.
You mean higher frequency, less density?
Well, I see density as dimensions, like D for density.
Oh,
Yeah, frequency would be more like our own energetic soul signature would hold a certain frequency. Like we might
interesting.
hold a certain density or and a certain frequency or both. Like there might be beings who are of, I don't know, like 7 or 9 degrees of density, but also a low frequency because they might be beings of darkness instead of light.
Interesting.
That
Yeah,
makes
I've never
sense.
heard density talked about like that. Um, as you were talking about that lower body, upper chakra split, or that straddle, as you're talking about, I just had a perception come in, and I think this might have been the impulse or the consciousness that came through that kind of gave both my partner and I this burst of expandedness. And it was kind of like talking about this completion that happened around solstice this year in 2021, really mirroring this completion of 9 years since 2012, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
at that point in time, there was this wave of energies that came in, and at this time, there's a new wave of energies that have come in. And in this last few days, there's been this flip where back then we were channeling in those new solar activation codes or the glow activation codes that were coming in to our throat chakra, and the earth energies were coming into our a sacral chakra,
Mm-hmm.
to not sacral, solar plexus chakra. So that was happening, and kind of bringing those energies closer together. And in this wave, we've been talking about how the earth energies are coming up into the throat now. The feminine voice is coming,
Mm-hmm.
coming that
Mm-hmm.
that cosmic ascension from her, from Gaia, is coming through here. And the solar energy is really coming down, and the galactivation energies are coming down in the solar plexus. So we're
Mm-hmm.
having this crisscross, and it's all swirling now. And the heart, once again, it was swirling in the heart before, but now it's like, and so it's really got something going on. And as I talk about it again, I get that like quickening. There's something that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in that, and speaking it. And actually, now that I'm talking out loud, just the benefit of having these conversations, I had a lot come through about women being blocked in their throats, and blocked, especially women, not speaking their truth in relationship to the masculine, not speaking their truth, or being speaking their power.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of tears come through for that as a collective
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it feels really, really grounded for me to name that and share
Yeah.
that.
And I'll just add to that by saying I'm seeing a lot of women who are having anger come up
Mm,
around when they've tried to express emotions in the past, they've been shamed or gaslighted for it. Right?
yes.
Oh, you're crazy, you're loony, not, you're overly emotional, right? Instead of allowing that emotion to express freely out of the throat chakra. It's been so suppressed in all of us, I
Mm,
think, for thousands of years,
mm,
right? We're supposed to fall in line
yeah.
instead of speak our truth, what is true, right? And even having a conversation like this, there's more and more and more people who are going to gravitate to this conversation because
Hmm.
they're awakening
Hmm.
to this energy of expression and of truth,
Mm,
right, within their spirit, right, opening up to their multidimensional galactic self awakening to this ascension process of Earth. It's a very exciting time.
And it's so amazing to see how, um, I guess the best word right now is just nonlinear it is for everybody and where they're at in their own personal unfoldment or ascension or however you want to call it, evolution. You know, it's just like popcorns, you know, like boop, 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 boop. And they might be, you know, it's like one person setting off, like opening up this throat chakra and have a grieving moment for this mass collective of, you know, women. I just saw images going through my head, and it didn't feel personal. It didn't feel personal, but it you know, it came through, and I certainly had the tears for it, and it felt great to do that. But like, it just feels like, boop, that wave can set off all these little popcorns and other people unfolding that, you know, and with all these different um, you know, kind of shadows that we're being asked to, not even being asked to, they're being, you know, we're being faced with them,
Mm-hmm.
to look at them and reconcile and integrate and, you know, find something new, find some new understanding about what that served, or have more compassion, or, you know, whatever that is in service of.
Right. And I think compassion is a really great word for that, because looking at the shadow, right, whether it's from this lifetime, from your childhood, or the now, whether it's from a past lifetime, there so much compassion for and love for that part that you know, you can look at yourself and you can say, oh, that wasn't really a great lifetime for me. I was bad. But looking at it and saying, but I love and accept myself completely anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because it's part of my learning, it's part of my journey, it's part of my process. So how can I integrate that within myself and just love all of those parts of me?
Love all those parts and like pull all those fragments in, right? So that you can reclaim more and more and more of your sovereignty and, you know, walk in that truth. How exciting is that, that we get to, in this lifetime, actually do this work? It's so readily available because of the frequencies that are coming in from this alignment that we're in. It's just possible to go bloop, bloop, bloop. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to take that
Mhm.
power back, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna whoop, come right into center and see
All
what
those
it's like
soul shards.
to walk in on the planet with this much power, like, and have it be not a power that's going to be misused in some way, but a power
Mhm.
that's actually, you know, resting in the backspace or resting in the central channel, so that, you know, you're able to just move freely and experience what it is you came here to experience, and just the beauty of this incredible gemstone in the universe that we're standing on right now. How cool is this planet?
So cool. And I love what you said about we get to. We're
Yeah.
here on Earth
Yeah.
and we get to experience this. We get to experience the integration of our soul shards coming back to our little tiny diamond heart center, and having an awareness of multiple lifetimes and
Mm,
multiple journeys that we've walked on this earth. You know, and there's memory there,
mm,
right? There's memory by just standing on earth and feeling those vibrations. It's all stored in those Akashic records of earth.
mm. Oh, I've been having so much come through. I mean, of course, in the time we've known each other, we've talked about a lot of different times. We've remembered about our golden ages here on this planet, but it is just amplified. It is just amplified as we're coming into this next golden age. It's just like, okay, all these memories are coming through just as seeds. I just keep getting it. It's just a
Hmm.
seed. It's just a
Hmm.
memory. We're not recreating those things,
Right.
but it's just a memory, and it's just a seed, because we're going to take those seeds and something new is going to get birthed out of us. And we still don't know what that looks like yet, but we all get to participate in that. And it's super cool.
Very exciting.
Mm,
So, and I mean, I think because so much information is coming in, I think it's really important just to name that we don't have to hold it all in our body. We can't
Mm-mm,
hold it in our bodies,
mm-mm,
right? Some of it downloads into the skeletal system, but if it flows through us and grounds to earth, then it will store in the Akashic records and we can use it like a library
mhm,
to access whenever we want.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because this is the 222 right year, and it's just about working together and sharing ideas and collaboration, and so this is where the juice is right now, and yeah, it's another reminder, like I can't do this by myself. I need
Mm-mm.
other people to
Mhm.
talk about this and to kind of find out where my most alive self lives, and how do we collaborate and say, oh, I love doing that thing, so I'm going to do that piece of the puzzle, and
Mhm.
I'm going to
Mhm.
trust that all the other people are going to find their favorite thing, and we're going to all create this beautiful tapestry and mosaic together.
Well, and I love the image of those raindrops on a window,
Mm,
right? Where there's one raindrop, which is the awakened soul, and it merges together with the other raindrops to form a group. That's the collaboration, right?
mhm,
That's the soul signature frequency attracting like soul signature frequencies
mm.
for that collaborative awakening.
Yeah, mama, we're doing it.
Yeah. Woohoo! Woohoo!
We're so good. Oh, well, I think that is such a good download for us for today. Just gonna throw my oop oop, Mama Tierra Terra Tara Kaya Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Oh, so much love.
So much love.